Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Is this peace lily in the background dying? I don't know. It just looks like shit all the time. So today I wanted to review for you guys the Anastasia Sultry palette. I haven't seen a ton of talk around this one, which is unusual for an Anastasia palette, but I'm here for it, man. Let's do this. I originally wasn't going to review this because I didn't think there was much interest in it, but I've been getting a lot of DMs and tweets and stuff like that from you, so I figured I would throw up a review. The one thing that I will say is that I've been seeing a lot of people, and I believe even Norvina tweeted this, saying that they didn't have a cool tone palette, so this was their cool tone palette. In what world is this cool toned? I feel like the only true cool tone is that, because even this kind of chocolatey brown, when you pair it with those warmer browns like birch and even twig is a little bit warmer still, like it still pulls more warm than it does cool. And then all of the shimmers are warm toned. Anyways, that's just a little gripe. Let's jump into it. I'm gonna have to tuck my hair behind my ears, so we're just all gonna have to be okay with that. I'm gonna try to stick mostly to the cool tones, seeing as that's like what this palette's supposed to be all about. I don't know, I just feel like it's so neutral that if I use the warm tones, it'll end up looking like everything I've ever done in my life. I'm gonna start with Slate. Just grabbing that on a Smith 247 brush. I'm gonna do like a little thing like this, I think. So I applied the shadow to one side of my brush. See, the other side is virtually clean. And I just kind of tilted that brush upwards towards my brow bone, keeping it off that lid. It's weird using a cool tone, actually. I feel like it's been years. So far so good. That color builds up quite well. Using my Sigma E47 brush, I'm gonna dip right into that dystopian, just a deep brown, and I'm gonna pull that into my crease. So I just apply that with my little Sigma brush, and then I'm going over and blending with that brush that we used to put down that kind of gray color. So I'm just following the natural contour of my eye. I'm not actually following my crease, I'm following more of like the socket. Although this looks a little different, doesn't it? This one I appeared to be following my crease, and this one I appeared to be following my socket. Let's see which one I like better. Well, frick. I feel like I like this one better. I'm gonna follow my crease. I'm just gonna bring that down a little lower. This is gonna be messy before it's good, okay? Oh, that kind of applied sort of patchy, but I don't know if it was just because I was kind of applying it sort of fucked up, or if that's just the way that it is. That's just the way it is. The color I was most excited for in this palette is the color Cyborg, which is that kind of like warm, silvery color. I'm just building up that brown tone. Actually, that is quite a cool tone brown. I redact that earlier statement. Tweetus deletus. I'm gonna grab a little bit of concealer and a little baby brush. This is a Hakuhodo shading brush. It's very small. And I'm loading up that concealer on the very tippity top of that brush, but not too much of it. And then I'm just gonna go for it. Sorry if it's kind of loud in the background. It's like pissing rain outside, and the cars are loud when they're driving on it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so I'm just cleaning up my crease with that, and then putting it all over the lid as well. I'm just taking that concealer up a little above my crease because we have this nice matte shade in our crease, and we're gonna be putting a shimmer down on the lid. I wanna make sure that we don't have transfer onto the matte part. Next, I'm gonna grab the color Cyborg, just on the same brush. Oh, this is such an interesting color. It almost has like a lilac shift to it when I swatch it. So strange. Yeah, there is a little bit of like a warm kind of lilac tone to it. It's very interesting. I'm not sure why, but I was kind of almost hoping that this eyeshadow would be a little bit more textured, you know what I mean? Like not as much of like a smooth sheen, but almost more like kind of chunky glitter. So quite a bit of fallout from that one. It's kind of big particles though, so I'm just gonna try and sweep it up into my brush. Oh, actually it's kind of pretty. It's so odd though, it looks more like a white shadow almost on my lid. I'm so confused. Okay, oh, I have to do this on the other side. If I had half of a face, my makeup would always be fire. I think I'm gonna try to wet my brush and see if I can get a little bit more intensity out of that shadow. It's not that it's like not pigmented or not going on well, but I just feel like, I don't know, it's kind of just falling short for me for my expectations. It's funny because like when I saw this palette, the color I was most attracted to was Cyborg. Like that was like the reason for the season, you know what I mean? I felt like it looked really unique, and even when I swatched it, I still felt like it looked unique. But it's interesting to me how white this is appearing on my eye. Like I feel like this just looks white with like a little bit of warmth to it for sure, but like it doesn't really appear silvery, at least to me in person. It just looks like almost like a frosty white. I'm gonna take the color Noir, which is just black. I'm taking it on the babyest baby brush, and I'm just kind of redefining that cut crease. Oh, that's the smallest baby brush anyone's ever seen. As we get towards the inner corner, I switched to that color Dystopian, just because it's a little bit softer than that black. And if I want to, I can take my little Sigma brush and just kind of buff over. Okay, I wanted to do, wow, look how white my hand is. Anyways, moving right along. I wanted to do a little liner. I'm gonna do a winged eyeliner for the first time in years. I really thought I would never move on from the winged eyeliner, but here we are. I'm using Dose of Colors eyeliner in the color Shady, just a black gel, and I'm taking a Smith 205 brush, just kind of wiping off the excess product. I'm gonna draw a line going up to meet this line, and then, oh, that kind of got fucked up. And then drawing a line down from that corner, and then I'm filling in that wing and deciding what I want to do here. Oh, maybe it'd be kind of cool if I did some weird shit here. Okay, maybe I'll just kind of leave it like that. I think it looks kind of neat. I don't know. You tell me. I'm gonna take my liquid liner though and go across the top, just a thin line, if nothing else. Is this weird or is this cool? Who am I? I don't know. I'm gonna take what's left of that black color and just kind of maybe attempt to make this look more purposeful. Sure, that's what Bob Ross would call a happy little accident. Let's move on with our lives. I'm gonna take this color Pearl and I'm gonna bring it right into my inner corner. I'm gonna take that color Dystopian and I'm going to bring it right underneath my lower lash line. And then I'm gonna pick up that color Slate, which was the first, oh, I just rolled my brush through all my foundation. I'm gonna pick up that color Slate, which was that first kind of like gray color that we used. Gray, taupe, grope. No, that one didn't work. Okay, let me zoom you guys out and we will talk about my thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Forgot to show you guys. This is the this is the final countdown. Let me tell you my thoughts on this little palette. Overall, in terms of color story, I feel like this palette is pretty standard. It's not anything that we haven't seen before, in my opinion. It did feel like that kind of red tone was sort of just like slapped in there so that it didn't look basically like every other neutral Anastasia palette. I was surprised by how cool toned both of these colors ended up being on the eye. Not really that one, but this one for sure. I thought that would pull a little bit more warm toned, and I think it could if you were kind of pairing it with that birch and twig, but it's a very deep brown, and it looks quite cool toned on the eye. It looks almost like a black. That color Cyborg I was a little bit disappointed in just how it went on my skin tone. I really thought that it was going to show up as more of like a kind of like warm silver, and I just feel like on my eyes it looks more like kind of a frosty pearl white. In terms of the other colors that we didn't get a chance to try today, they're pretty standard. We have a lot of kind of like warm bronzy shimmers. No other shade really stands out to me in terms of looking unique other other than Cyborg. In terms of formula, everything applied pretty much like you would expect it to. I didn't have any issues with this. I didn't feel like this was a formula close to Subculture, which I know so many people had an issue with. It was more like the modern Renaissance soft glam kind of formula. That metallic color Cyborg that we used applied well on its own. I found that I was able to get a little bit more texture and intensity out of it when I applied it with a wet brush, but not anything like particularly remarkable. It definitely didn't change the nature of that shadow. It just kind of was a little bit more intense. Didn't notice any problems with blending or anything like that. There was a little moment on this eye where I felt like it was getting a little bit patchy, but I think it was just because I applied it a little fucked up. Overall, I just don't know that I would go out of my way to recommend it to you guys. There's nothing about the formula that is like so much better than any other eyeshadow I have. There's not really any colors in here that are unique enough to the point where I would remember this palette and dig it out just to use that shade. If you don't have a good neutral palette already, you won't be disappointed in the formula here. And I do like that there is a range of shimmers and a range of matte shades as well. I feel like you're kind of able to create your day looks with that color Birch and Twig. And even Slate if you wanted to go for like a cool toned day look, and then you can darken it up really, really easily with that Dystopian and Noir. The only thing that I could see being a potential difficulty if you are just starting out in makeup or if you have troubles blending is that Dystopian and Noir are a really, really far jump from these kind of transition shades. Usually I would kind of have another color that was just a little bit darker, and then I would kind of transfer into like my blacks and my really, really rich dark browns. So just something to be cautious of if that's something you struggle with. You might want to just kind of take it slow with your blending and apply a really, really small amount, top off all that excess. All the other shimmers are really pretty. They're colors that I definitely gravitate towards. So am I going to use this palette? Yes, probably. But I don't know that I would go out of my way to recommend it to you if you think that you have similar shades kicking around in your little arsenal. All right, you guys, those are my thoughts on the Anastasia Sultry palette. If you guys have picked this up, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear. And if there's anything else you guys would like to see reviewed, definitely leave it in the comments below, and I just might pick it for a future video. I am so consistent that it hurts. I can't stop being reliable. I blow everyone away with how much they can count on me. And unfortunately, a side effect of that is that I don't know what to fucking upload. I don't understand how there are YouTubers that exist that upload every day, not even for the workload, but just for like coming up with those concepts and coming up with that many video ideas. I don't know how you do it. Shan, Tati, a tip of the hat to you. And this is getting weird. I'm gonna go fuck off now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace out.